set up the Rumble. Just caught the all right. YouTube. And we're on Twitch. There we go. I want to make sure that was. Dude, I've been sitting here this whole time. Now I have to pee. I've been sitting here this whole time doing that, and now I have to pee. I want to just make sure the stream gets started. Especially with the, it's so annoying with that, like with like Rumble, because you have to like set it up every time. And I decided to ditch streaming on Kick and use X again, because on Kick we get nothing, like at all. And the chances are lower. I'd rather support the other platform that we get nothing on. Because I don't even get much on Kick when I just do like regular gaming, whatever. No traffic. Miles will support Elon. All right. Well, I wanted to start early and be efficient, but fuck my life. All right. Give me 1 second to go pee. Then I get locked in. All right. Jeez, this guy, huh? This guy. Get it together. This is good. I might have. Could have, but I don't remember it. Send it to me in X. Yeah, so I don't have to click off the Discord. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's up, Agent? Agent's first in the chat on Twitch. The most American Chinese guy I know. Enoch has no sound. Why? Hello? Did I shut something off on accident? Hold on. Good thing you said something. Okay. Just him. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Why did that happen? Because it used to have a separate source for it. Properties. Why is he not coming through in... There's no desktop audio. Why is there no desktop audio? Agent, why would a desktop audio source not be in the mixer on OBS? Right now? It's not there. No, it's like not even showing up in the audio mixer. You can add it manually. Where do you add it though? Because it's not like it's a source. You can add audio output. No, I can't add anything to the audio mixer. To just add audio output capture. Oh, okay. Okay, try now, you know.
Can you hear me?
So I can't, sir.
Right.
How about you? You know, heard it? Yes, okay. Let me go check the other scenes. Okay. Yeah, this is weird because I never had to have it as a source before. Not in my sources. Like it just automatically showed up in the audio mixer. That's strange. Yeah, see, look, for right now, now the scene that I'm on right now, which is my full screen scene, I do not have a desktop audio source in my sources tab, but there's a desktop audio source in the mixer. Maybe I accidentally deleted. Yeah, you might be right. Enoch full screen doesn't have his own source. Okay. Okay, now we have them all. All right. Hino looks dead in his eyes. He is dead inside, I've heard. uh, yeah, he puts up with my dumbass setting this thing up every day. There's an icebox where part used to be. Okay, what was I just doing? I wanted to make sure something was good. Yahtzee. You still got me in Discord. Good there, right? And you sent me something. Sent me like 6 things. All right. In what order do you want to do them? In the order you put them? Okay. Just fly by the seat of our pants. Okay. Well, obviously hero at the end. Okay. Word. All started. I didn't even type show notes. I just put all the clips in. All right. I'm going to let it fly then. What's going on, folks? We got interesting, some interesting stuff going on there recently. We got Mr. McDonald Trump himself serving McDonald's to the masses in Pennsylvania. We got confirmation Trump's going on Rogan Friday. That's going to be huge. JD Vance was on the Theo Vaughn's podcast just recently, which was pretty cool. Kamala is still scrambling. It's going to be tricky out there. Listen, man, all the numbers are showing that it's looking good, but you never know what they have up their sleeve. Just go vote. Like, this is probably neck and neck. Just go. You gotta get out. Like, make plans to where when you go to vote, if something happens, you're prepared. If they're like, oh, something happened and you have to wait 4 hours, wait 4 hours. Bring a sandwich. Charge your phone. Make sure you get back and do it. But yeah, be prepared for everything. Like, you have to vote no matter what it takes, basically. And if everybody does that, you'll probably be in good shape. Kamala's losing endorsements that the Democratic Party typically has on lock for like the past 20, 30 years. Which a lot of people are saying is basically an endorsement of Trump by default, like by omission. Got LA Times, you got the Teamsters Union. There's a couple more pretty big groups in there that refuse to endorse. So we'll get into that stuff. And I got a bunch of other silly little things to mix in there. Enoch's got a few things to mix in there, so we'll get into some cool stuff. This is Northeast Space Podcast.
An angry eagle scratching the face of Lady Liberty. Our morals are falling apart. The whole world in disarray. We're too concerned dads who've had enough, and we've got things to say. We're Northeast Base space.
Oh, cut it a little quick there. I am Whiskey 6 TV. Welcome to the Northeast Base Podcast, episode 24. I'm joined by my co-host, Billy Jamokino.
Yeah, dude. For sure, people. Like, get out there, vote like we are freaking 8-10 points behind. Assume that this is like even a close race, right? Like, I want everybody to be terrified. And not only that, to also reiterate on what you were saying about make a plan. Dude, make a plan to vote early. Just get your vote in, because I forgot to share the link. Maybe I'll find it while Whiskey's talking about something. But dude, they're planning something. Okay, for the last couple of weeks, they've been coming out, and the deep state's been coming out saying that there might be some sort of like an EMP attack or a DDoS attack. This, that, the other. They're planning something.
Yeah.
There is going, maybe not where you live. If you live, in rural, a non super, if it's not like a highly contested state that's gonna make or break the election, probably nothing's gonna happen in your area. But also, why take the chance, dude?
Right.
Like, look at what happened in Arizona in 2020, right? Like, people were standing outside for hours and hours, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we ran out of printer ink," and "Oh, we
Right.
ran out of ballots." It's like, how do you do that unless you planned it? Like,
Yeah.
this stuff is going to happen. Like, you
Oh,
had 4
yeah.
years to prepare for an election, and you somehow ran out of supplies.
Somebody dropped the ball on that one. Just in general, like, even if that what you can't equate to malice, you can equate to stupidity. Like, people are fallible. So, like, there's a non-0% chance that stuff happens. Like, even if nobody does it on purpose, it's always a non-zero. So, you gotta stay frosty out there, folks. Gotta stay frosty at the polls. Hopefully it's not too frosty. Yeah. Hopefully it's not proper pissing prevents pee-pee pants. Some reason it's not scene switching when you start talking. Oh. Okay, I think I figured it out. It's a minor fix. Maybe, maybe not. Enox full screen. No. There's too much technology. Yeah, I was just trying something. Enoch. If audio. Why is this happening? Here, let me go here. Enox camera. Property. Damn technologies. Here's what happened. There used to be OBS had a feature that had audio capture on a window capture. Now I don't. So now make an adjustment to the scene switcher. Do desktop. That's gonna fuck everything up then, because if we play the browser capture. What do I mean? So we have a window capture. There was a setting in the properties for the window capture that had capture audio. So I could capture his voice audio directly from his window capture. Now I don't see it. Did I like accidentally revert my OBS to a small? Use that. I may have done that. So the scene switcher would switch to his scene if his audio picked up. But now it won't. Less than ideal. Say that. I think I figured out what the problem is with the scene switcher. I think I may have, I'm not sure, accidentally like reverted my OBS to an older version. And I think if I think I might need to update it a version or something. But there's it used to be that your window capture had a option in the properties to capture audio from your window capture. And the scene switcher was set to trigger when that source picks up your audio, then it would switch. Now we're picking you up through desktop audio. If I put desktop audio on that scene switcher, then we could play a video and it's going to switch, I think.
No.
So it switched to you there. And it switched to me there. Okay, now if I go to dual react, now you talk and see if it switches.
As I said earlier, Genghis Khan did nothing wrong.
Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good, and I think I know. So it says here, okay, if the audio or desktop audio for at least 1 second is above a certain decibel, and we're not on the dual react overlay, then it'll switch. Okay, so if it should be okay for now. I'll still have to fix it. I get it figured out. It should work for now. So basically, it'll switch when we're on normal screens. But if we're in the dual scene, it won't switch. So that's good. I don't want to just be playing a video and have it switch to your full screen. That's your desktop audio. I think we're good. All right. Let's do it. So I don't know what to do first. Doesn't really matter to me. But just pull up this little story real quick. Got this little notification that I thought was kind of interesting. It says this is from the Daily Wire news by Spencer Lindquist. It says North Dakota could become the first state in the country to end property taxes.
Hey now.
No, I was like, hell yes. Hell yes. I don't know. I was getting a little excited about it. I was like, oh, please be New Hampshire. It says voters in North Dakota will have a chance to get rid of the state's property taxes in November and become the first state in the nation to repeal the tax, potentially paving the way for others to follow suit. The ballot measure, called Measure 4, would not only repeal the state's property tax, but also bar cities and localities from instituting property taxes of their own. Based.
Here we go.
Yeah. Rick Becker, the chair of an organization called End Unfair Property Tax, which got the measure placed on the North Dakota ballot, says that success in the Peace Garden state could encourage other states across the country to ditch their own property taxes. Now, let's see here. Although no states have repealed their property taxes, Texas, Nebraska, and Michigan have explored the idea, with measures in the latter two states being proposed but failing to make the ballot. While Becker calls property taxes most egregious and least moral of all the taxes, others are working to oppose the measure and repeal them in the state, calling the ballot initiative a sledgehammer approach. I kind it says here, I think we're going to defeat Measure 4, said Chad Oban, the chair of an organization called Keep It Local that opposes the ballot measure. But I do think if it passes, there will be a lot of other states doing something similarly or feeling like there's a political appetite. Recent polling found that 28% of North Dakota voters plan to vote in favor of the measure, while 40% are opposed to the measure, with another third of voters saying that they are undecided. Voters in the state shot down one 2012 attempt to repeal property taxes. However, this year's measure comes amid growing frustration with property taxes, both Becker and Obad acknowledge. I do agree property taxes suck.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you guys get hit really hard in New Hampshire, right? Like, that's kind of your...
crushed with it.
Yeah, that's kind of like the thing that a lot of people don't think of, right? Like, in New Hampshire, you guys don't have, like, sales tax and stuff like that, but you guys get crushed in property taxes.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Like, here in Maine, we have one of the highest property taxes in the country, and we're still not as high as New Hampshire.
No, we're really high, and it's different town to town, right? It's like one year I remember going to my aunt's for like a holiday gathering or whatever, and she was talking about how her she had, she was emotive. She was like, "Our property taxes are insane," she said, right? And I was like, I don't think there's any way that your property taxes are worse than mine. And I looked it up on my phone, and it was, and she was talking about hers, and then I looked it up on mine, and we had hers beat by like a significant amount. And she lived in like a little bit nicer area too, but yeah, it's not great. Like, I pay out the ass for my property taxes.
Seem like much, right? But like, I've been in my house for this October. Well, yeah, actually, the 18th of this month was 11 years since I bought my house. And dude, every year it's gone up by an average of like 5% every year, property taxes. So basically, I'm paying 50% more than I was the year I bought my house.
That's insane, man. It's like, it's kind of weird how it works. Like, the reason why it seems worse is, like, I don't have to worry about it because of my mortgage. It's like escrowed in, but it's like my mortgage keeps going up, and that's like the biggest payment I'm making every month, and then it keeps creeping up, and I'm like, what the and that means that, so like from when I first bought my house to now, like my mortgage has gone up enough to where it's like that chunk of money every month is like the difference between a bill being paid on time or not. Like, from when we got the house to now, so part of it is like the value of the property, it's gone up, so the taxes go up. So taxes go up and the mortgage goes up with the taxes. But also the taxes are really high, so that percentage goes up very noticeably. When you think about it like month to month, and I don't really notice it except for the fact that my mortgage is like, it keeps going up. I don't pay the taxes directly.
This is escrow too.
But it's crazy. I don't remember the percentage agent because last time I looked it up, the way they display it on like the city website is like something per thousand. It's like something like that. It's like a certain dollar amount per thousand. Which you could easily do the math. I just don't remember it off the top of my head.
It's weird.
Well, it's
In
just
my town,
that's just how they wrote it.
yeah, here in my town, it's written out like you pay X of dollars per square foot.
Yeah, no, ours is solely based off of assessed property value. So it's like, you know, square footage doesn't really matter. Like if you have a big house in a crap neighborhood with low property value, like a big shitty house, you don't pay a lot of money. But if you live in a really nice area where the houses are more expensive and the house is newer, then it's higher value house, higher taxes. You know what I mean? Like you're going to live in a big old log cabin with like no property and the value's low. You know what I mean? Whereas, or you could have like a tiny little house, like a single person's house with a big yard. It doesn't matter how big the house is. It's like the actual value of everything. So yeah, they just display it as like so many dollars per thousand, whatever, of property value. But yeah, the tricky thing with my town is, and part of the reason why it's up so high is we do have a full-time fire department, which I'm not really against. They go to like accident calls for ATVs, cars. They have to be at the hospital when the helicopters land. They do pretty good community outreach and stuff like that, and they go to like medical calls, like overdoses, any of that stuff. They go. So I don't mind like that, but we also have like a pretty solid municipal workers, like public works, because like I've told you before, my city was basically built to house twice the population it has now. So it's got insane roadways to take care of and water lines and sewers.
Easy.
So a lot of it goes down to like the road work, the garbage pickup, stuff like that.
Parks thing that I actually I saw a video clip. I assume it's true. Now this could be wrong, folks. I'm just spitballing here. You know, we're not news people. But this makes me think that there was a very interesting policy that Germany had under Hitler, right? Where they mandated, and I'm not sure how they did this. Like, I would have to do more research, but like maybe they took like the median household income for the country, and homes could not be valued at more than like 40% of your income, like for your mortgages, or 30%, 40%, something like that. Like, say you bought a $300,000 house, like it wasn't based on like an interest payment sort of a deal. It was you buy a $300,000 house, whatever 30% of your income is, that's your mortgage payment.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to lower your debt, if you had one kid, 25% of your mortgage is gone. 2 kids, 50% is gone. 3 kids, 75%. 4 kids, 100%. So like, but the stipulation to that was like you got to keep the home forever, but it had to stay in your home, in your family, and someone in your family always had to live there.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as it wasn't a primary residence for your family, you lost the property, or you were forced to sell something. I don't know exactly how it all worked, but like I thought that was very interesting. But obviously,
or you had to pay full boat, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I didn't do enough research into it to figure it all out. But
Where
like,
was this again?
that was in Germany. That was one of Hitler's policies, which obviously isn't feasible unless you live in a socialist nation, right? Because all that is transfer of wealth, right? They're taking someone else is paying that mortgage.
Well, yeah, it's not feasible at all, technically.
because like there are other ways to do things, right? You don't need to have property tax. And the person who wrote this is kind of right? Like property tax is, I wouldn't call it the most immoral. I call like like inheritance tax, death tax. That's the most immoral to me. But
I would agree.
Property tax is definitely up there.
I think he said it's one of the most. Maybe he said the most.
Something's got to change, right? We're getting taxed when you make money. You're getting taxed every time you spend money. You're getting taxed for the roads. And then you go and you drive on the roads and they charge you a toll. And then it's insane. You're getting taxed by the time you actually spend your money on goods and services. You're getting taxed 5, 6, 10 times, depending on the product.
Yeah. And I think obviously like a lot of your taxes go to school too, right? Now, I wish I knew more. I'd like to be more involved, but I don't know. It's tough to, you know how hard it is to pay attention to all this stuff you're supposed to pay attention to? I'm like, I don't know how perfect the school is. All I know is our school does a lot less woke shit than a lot of schools. And I think it's because people had complained. And I think they just stay away from it.
I don't know the demographics breakdown of your town, but like just given the amount of churches per capita that your town has.
Yeah, well, they're not all running it. Yeah.
Like there's at least whether it's, just in spirit at this point or not, like there's a culture in your area, right?
Yeah.
Which I would assume has something to do with the school board policies and whatnot.
It's like that, and you also get like a couple of the rural areas next door. So, and then like right near us is another town that's smaller than ours. That's a little bit more touristy. That probably attracts more of the lefty people. Now, I will say that they have some stuff that they do better than us and some stuff that they do worse than us. They're a little bit more ritzy and snobby. And, over the years, we've gotten a lot of like lower income influx in the area because we have an abundance of housing. So that changes the culture too, right? Like, but when you're talking about like social programs and stuff, almost all those are like from the state. So it doesn't really affect us. It's not like our town is changing the way it's governed based on that. You know what I mean? It just happens to be that we had such a dip that it became really inexpensive to live up here. So a lot of people would move here that were, more on the poorer side. They could get like, housing assistance and then get an apartment. And like companies came in and like renovated because there was so many big apartment complexes, like 4 to 6 unit apartments. A couple big companies came in and like bought a bunch of these apartment complexes and just went right through them, brand new almost. And then this big company takes tenants and they do all the housing programs. And it's a big company, so it's a well-oiled machine. They know exactly what they're doing. Hire someone to manage. And they have so many units that it's a business at that point. You know what I mean?
Here in town, it's very different but similar. And I call him kid, but like he's a local weed kid.
Yeah.
Like he started off doing, legal weed growery, whatever that dispensary or whatever it's called. And obviously it's still federally illegal, right? So he can't put any of his money in a bank. So we have all the old mills, like the mills around here used to make textiles and shoes and stuff like that, and they've been just sitting empty for the last 60 years.
Yeah.
and he's buying them up. He built up one of them. That's where the salon my wife works in is
Mhm.
at right now until our home salon gets finished. Yeah, he can't put his money in the bank, so he's just like buying
Investing.
properties.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's doing the same thing. The one
Smart.
that she works in, the whole bottom floor is business, and the top 2 or 3 floors is all residential. Just
There you
he made like nice apartments.
Smart. Smart.
Yeah.
I can't hate on it. Good for him.
No.
And it's
at this
helping the
point,
town, right?
right? He's probably bringing in pretty big companies from out of state or out of town at least to do all the work. But
Yeah. Well,
it's definitely helping because we have an influx of people that are coming to our town. I don't know why, but they are. I wish they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's rapidly going away here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what my goal is. You have to get to like a rural area outside of a decent little city or something.
I live right because we fall under a town or a city, the city.
They're like a burb
entity, and like we're still called the village where I live.
I'm Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, but it's like it's very small town feel, and then you go literally a half a mile up the road, and then you're in the city proper.
Okay.
And that's where it starts to get hairy. That's where all the homeless people are and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I want country living myself.
Up around homeless people and
riffraff, as they used to say. From that riffraff. All right.
What else we got?
I pulled up his tweet from Elon Musk because I thought it was kind of. Politics UK on X posted breaking: Donald Trump has filed a Federal Election Commission complaint against, quote, far left Labor helping the Kamala Harris campaign for illegal foreign campaign contributions and interference in our elections. And Elon Musk quote tweeted it and wrote, good. I don't know if you guys know this story or not, but I'll pull it up and. Okay, so that's not what I wanted. Okay, well, that's just the quote from there. I want to know the actual story. All right, so here's the original. Oh, my bad. The duo. Yeah, you're not going to be able to read it anyways, but I was going to read it for you. Sophia Patel posted, and then Politics UK reposted it, but Sophia Patel, head of operations at the Labour Party. The Labour Party is one of the UK's political parties. So, says, I have nearly 100 Labour Party staff, current and former, going to the U.S. in the next few weeks, heading to North Carolina, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. I have 10 spots available for anyone available to head to the battleground state of North Carolina. We will sort your housing. Email me. Blah, 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 blah. Politics quoted it. Nearly 100 current and former Labour Party staff are going to battleground states in the U.S. election to campaign for Kamala Harris, with the party offering to sort your housing. That's just Politics UK reporting on it. So yeah, so that just literally is Labour Party activists coming to the U.S. to campaign for Kamala Harris. That's foreign election interference.
Yeah, by definition.
Directly.
I mean, dude,
that's why Trump filed a Federal Election Commission complaint. And
good.
The quote says, Trump Vance campaign co-manager Susie Wild stated, in 2 weeks, Americans will once again reject the oppression of big government that we rejected in 1776. The flailing Harris Walz campaign is seeking foreign influence to boost its radical message because they know they can't win the American people. President Trump will return straight to the White House and put America and our people first. The Harris campaign's acceptance and use of this illegal foreign assistance is just another feeble attempt in a long line of anti-American election interference.
So I would agree with that, but here's the problem. There's technically nothing wrong with this, right? So the color of it, so to speak, is obviously like election meddling, foreign interference, yada yada.
Right.
But for British people to be coming over here and campaigning, it's no different than British people creating a PAC.
Yeah.
Right. Now, where it gets weird, where it gets weird is if the Harris Walls campaign is working directly with them.
Right. And
if so, then that, what do they call it? An in-kind donation is what it would be considered. Because that's when you actually have collusion.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look this up and figure it out because I thought so. Like we have AIPAC, right, which is the Israeli PAC or whatever.
The Yudin.
But isn't that now? If I'm not mistaken, aren't the PACs American people speaking on behalf of another person, like for example, AIPAC, aren't they Americans? But they're advocating Israel's wishes.
Well, that's where AIPAC gets tricky, right? Because there may be some like straight up just Israelis, but dude, the vast majority of Jewish people in this country that have any sort of like quote unquote power, so to speak, are dual citizens.
No, I know, but
so like that's where it gets kind of weird, right? Because like I get what you're saying, like they're
that's
Americans.
A loophole in itself. Like
right, that's what I'm saying. Like they are Americans, but also they're dual citizens.
Right. No, I know it's hairy there. I'm just saying, for example, if people from the UK are coming over here and it's not a PAC.
Yeah.
And they're doing it directly and it's funded from, like, to me, that's directly interfering. And I think AIPAC as well is a problem. And I think I don't like all the stuff going on in general, like the PACs and all that. I think it's all money in politics is annoying to me. I get you have to spend money, but just like how our financial system works with like investments and speculations and futures and credit lines and credit score and all that, I hate all of it. Like, you pay me for something and then I use my money to buy things. That's all we need.
Yeah.
But like, I hate how complicated this stuff gets for no fucking reason. Same thing with like the PACs, right? Like, why are there PACs? Like, raise money or not? Like, PACs are just a weird way of raising money. But then technically AIPAC is supposed to be registered as a foreign. That was one of the things that came up in Congress like a handful of months ago, right? Somebody tried to put forth a bill where like AIPAC would have to register as a foreign investment.
Yeah.
Because if they're accepting money from another country.
Yeah, well, this is like without being a constitutional lawyer, I think it'd be really tough to make a call one way or the other. And even, obviously, there's a ton of constitutional. I mean, look at freaking Paul Krugman, right? He's a economist who won the Nobel Prize, and he's an absolute retard when it comes to economics, right?
A lot of those Nobel Prizes are handed out to absolute.
Yeah, so like this is where it comes down to, right? There's the color of the law, and then there's the spirit of the law, right? So by color of law, I don't think there's anything technically illegal with the Brits coming over here and doing this.
Yeah.
But by the spirit of the law, it's definitely morally gray at best. Because yeah, I mean, you're literally taking a foreign country's party members and bringing them here to campaign.
Like, for
But
me, just like the keep it simple, stupid thing. Like, if AIPAC's accepting money from Israel, they need to register as a foreign investment. End of story. Like, to me,
Yeah.
that's as simple as it should be. And if people from the UK are coming over here, that's foreign investment.
yeah, but also,
election.
is it? I think it comes down to, again, what tie does this have to, technically, does this have to the British government and the Harris Walls campaign, right? Because, I mean, you have like George Soros and all these other non-Americans
I agree.
who
Well, I don't think that should
who
happen
donate
either.
millions.
I don't
No,
think
I
that
don't
should
either.
happen either.
But it's technically legal.
No, I
right?
get that. But I'm not arguing
So-
what's technically legal because I don't
Well,
know
I
enough.
only am because right here it's, it says Trump he filed a lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
But that's not going to do anything.
Well, I'm not
First
saying
of
they're
all,
going to win, but
There's a week and a half till the election.
he should have done it.
And
He should still do it, though, is what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, there's a week and a half to the election, and it's not going to do anything.
No, but I think the messaging, like, too often the Republican Party just throws up their hands and goes, well, we'll try and fix it next time. And instead of just doing shit, like, they throw the book at him, I think he should, just like state AGs should attempt to throw the book at them too. Like, if you're not trying, or at least, it's almost like what is it called? Like when you're in a confrontation or a possible confrontation, like you have to present as if you're going to fight.
Oh, posturing?
You have to posture. If you're not
Yeah, yeah.
posturing, you're just enabling. And I think that's kind of the point of what he's doing. Like he's just like, no, like he's the bull that we needed. He's a symptom, but like that's why we have this situation right now. Because we just get Republican Party was just Democrat light, and they just get walked all over all the time.
Yeah.
And now that we're standing up, and it's kind of funny because it's like, it's moderate, but libertarian. Like, it's weird. It's weird because it's a lot of moderate policies. It's way more conservative than the Republican Party's ever been.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they still, they're a little wishy-washy with some of them, but like...
But the crazy thing is, too, though, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you, but also the Republican Party's never been more left-wing, right? The problem is that...
At least it's like more of a libertarian style left wing.
Yeah, like the left wing is so far left now that to simply oppose...
Well, it's not even just
what
left. They're further left, but they're also further north.
Well, right. But yeah, like they've gone so far off in their own direction that you can only seem to be pushing further to the right by
No matter what.
simply disagreeing with them.
Yeah. Just being libertarian, they consider right wing. Like,
Yeah.
like you could be dead middle or even slightly left, and significantly libertarian, and you'd be considered a right wing.
Yeah.
It's almost like the poles are shifting. The political compass is
Mhm.
left, right, authoritarian, libertarian. And it's almost like the how like the earth, the poles don't go directly up and down.
Yeah, they go out.
The axis tilts once in a while and it swings back or whatever. It's almost like the political compass now, left or right, the poles aren't left and right anymore. They're swinging. Like the left, being on the left now is actually like tilted up, and being on the right now is tilted down.
Yeah, it actually more resembles what we live on, right? More of the flat Earth. You have the pole, which
Yeah,
is
the
center,
donut shaped earth with
and
the,
then it goes left wing, right, east, west.
and there's an ice wall on each side or something.
But instead, it's just north and south. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. Something like that, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as Andrew Breitbart said, right? Politics is downstream from culture. Like, the more divided our culture gets, the more our politics get.
Of course.
It's just natural.
Yeah. Everything's gay. Yeah. What let me go check what you had posted up here. You want to pull up the JD Vance?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Or Lecter and Guy's more of a story, huh? Oh no.
Yeah.
Are any of these like news?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll wait then. I want to do
wait,
another
were they-
news one before we get into the silly.
I mean, I guess one of them's kind of news, but yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I'm gonna pull this up from. All right. This is a video
I was
from.
wondering if we wanted to talk about this.
What?
Oh, never mind.
Oh,
I thought you. I figured we were at some point tonight. We're going to talk about the Tim Pool meltdown.
Well, I could, but it's not really a clip. But we can talk about it. We might as well, since the topic will come up because I'm showing a Tim Pool video. But I just pulled this up for news, like news sources. But yeah, this is a video from Timcast News. I'll just play the clip and then we'll talk about it.
$6. If I'm supposed to believe, that means the economy is good. $6. It used to be like 3 something. $5.99. I complain about that because I want my whipped creams and my strawberries. Okay. Anyway, that being said, let me take you down a stroll through what I refer to as recent news. Let's start with the Wall Street Journal. October 21st, empty tables and rising costs to push more restaurants into bankruptcy. Red Lobster, Roti, and other chains close locations as Chapter 11 filings grow. There's going to be pain for a while. Heavens, my friends, TGI Fridays is preparing to declare bankruptcy, reports say, as of today, this morning. Struggling restaurant chain TGI Fridays is getting ready to declare bankruptcy, according to media reports. The news comes as the company closed dozens of restaurants in the past month. The reports from Bloomberg and DebtWire, which were cited in publications such as Yahoo Finance, et cetera, say they're looking to help its restaurants continue to operate under Chapter 11 protection. From Fox Business, Bye Bye Baby, closing all stores, shifting to online-only business model as part of a strategic reset as of October 21st. We have this from October 15th, Walgreens closing 1,200 stores after $3 billion loss. I give you CVS closing hundreds of stores by the end of the year, October 19th. This from statesmansjournal.com, part of the USA
Most
Today
of
Network.
those are going to be in the
October
city.
21st. Sherry's Cafe and Pies appears to close all remaining Oregon locations. From Boston.com, 7 Stop and Shop locations in Massachusetts are closing October 31st. The closures are part of a larger effort for the company chain to position the company for growth. We have this from Penn Live. 50 business locations closing in PA. Now, these could just be routine and run-of-the-mill, but Big Lots, PNC, Yellow, Wells Fargo, and they're listing a whole bunch. LL Flooring. Why? We have this from today. Why 7-Eleven is closing nearly 450 stores in the USA and Canada. And lastly, of course, my friends, it's not always about shutting down stores. It's about other economic indicators such as, if we can get this thing out of the way, gold extends record. Silver jumps to 12-year high as precious metals outperform stock market. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I saw a tweet the other day that said silver is at a near decade high and higher. It is growing. I remember where silver jumped in like the 2000s.
That's the gist of it there. Anyway, that's enough. So this is comes amidst the reports from the Democratic Party saying that the economy is actually good. You guys are wrong.
Yeah.
The numbers say it's good. How's everybody's shopping going? How's everybody's budget?
Yeah, I mean, obviously anybody with 2 brain cells to rub together and an IQ higher than room temp knows that's not true.
Yep. And they
I
keep
mean,
saying
that's-
it's corporate greed. It's corporate greed. We have to force these companies to lower their prices. Do you realize that if if one store has their prices really high, or one distributor or one company, like, okay, go to the grocery store and you could get Eggland's best eggs or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you could get some other type of eggs. If there was literally a good economy and they could make profits, one of those companies would just lower their prices and destroy the competition. Right?
Yeah.
And
Well, it's the same argument
that's
as
not happening.
Yeah, it's the same argument as women make 77 cents on the dollar compared to men. It's like, well, if that was actually true, then all these smart businessmen out there
Would hire all
just
women.
yeah, they just hire all women. And then they'd outperform everyone and they'd be the next gajillionaire. Like
A gajillionaire. Yeah.
it's just not true, right?
Right.
And yeah, I mean that's obviously obviously the economy's not doing great.
Right.
But dude, that's a lot of store closings and a lot of
Yeah,
restaurants.
That's in this month. Like, that's all reports from this month.
Like freaking seven. And here's the thing, right? This is gonna sound awful. I guarantee you, 75% of those are going to be in the cities,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
right? Because most of these cities are almost every big city in the country is run by Democrats. Democrats pass laws that if you keep your theft under $1,000, you don't go to jail.
Right.
So it's like we just stopped seeing them because people stopped caring. But every day there's still dozens, if not hundreds, of people walking into all these Rite Aids and CVS's and all these different stores, and they're just taking whatever they want and walking out the doors. And nobody can stop them. Like, a company can't continue to eat hundreds of thousands of dollars of loss in a year and stay open, right? And that's just like your CVS's in New York City are losing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars every year.
Yeah.
For the last 2-3 years, 4 years, however long it's been. It's just, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like,
Well, they did that. I mean, I live in a small area, and the Walgreens. So we used to have a Rite Aid, right? Walgreens bought out Rite Aid, I believe.
yes, it did.
And so they converted to a Walgreens. It was a store, right? It was a Rite Aid store, full store with a pharmacy in the back. They had, like, you could develop photos. You could buy shampoo, medicine. They had drinks, chips, seasonal stuff. A little store, a little convenience store, basically, right?
Mhm.
Walgreens bought it, whatever. Basically kept it the same, but turned it into a Walgreens. Very shortly after, shut down that store, bought property across the street, and built a Walgreens Express. So, like, if you go inside, there's like nothing in there, and there's a pharmacy.
Oh, really?
Yep. They got rid of the store. They built a brand new one, so it's modern, up to code, up to franchise standards or whatever. But it's like smaller, and it's basically designed for drive-through pharmacy. It's not a full store anymore. And then like a Dollar General moved into the other building.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
kind of, but in a way, yes and no. Like, but like,
I mean, if all your stuff's getting ganked,
well,
like,
yeah, but like,
and you can't make a profit.
and it's not like it was happening all the time, but it had happened at that store a couple times. Yeah, it's
Well,
just
right, but I mean, you're talking on a corporate. I'm talking on a corporate level, right?
right.
Like if your stores are getting looted and robbed and everything like that, it's like at a certain point you're gonna downsize and stick with what you're actually making money on.
Right. Yeah.
Like everybody needs medication. You can hire, 2 pharmacists, like 3 pharmacist techs or whatever,
Mhm.
have them on alternating shifts, and hire maybe, 3 or 4 clerks to work in your new smaller store, and everything you're selling is making money, and
Right.
people can't come in and steal it because it's behind locked doors.
Well, everything in
Yeah.
these in cities. Otona says, but OnlyFans models make more than doctors in a lot of cases. That's actually not true. Very, very few OnlyFans models make good money. Most of them don't make good money.
I actually make fairly decent money on OnlyFans.
Do you? Feet pics?
No, actually, so what I do is I pluck one pubic hair a day.
Oh.
And then I take a pair of scissors and kind of like ribbon when you're
Curl
wrapping
it.
a present.
Yeah,
I curl it, and I just take a photo of that.
Well, you
Very
should try.
simple.
Have you thought
Low
of doing?
overhead.
Have you thought of investing in like a good high quality camera and doing like a video?
Oh, of the curling process?
Yeah, like you curl it on video.
That would be a good plan. I bet I could get
Oh,
people
see-
to subscribe on premium.
See what I'm saying? You got to up your production a little bit, dude. But don't do it all
I
at
ju-
once. You should just upgrade a little bit, right? And over time you can grow it. Over time you can go up a little bit even better.
I bet you could make money doing that.
There's a chance. It all comes down to marketing, right?
It all comes down to marketing. What color pubes are my pubes going to be today?
Gotta get on a Reddit or something and
Get you, dye your pubes like freaking Sean O'Malley dyes his hair.
Sugar Sean.
You have no idea. It's just roulette. You just reach down, yank one out. Could be green, could be pink, could be yellow.
What are we getting today? It's like luck of the draw.
Yep.
That's fine.
All right. Well, we'll network that. We'll network it.
Okay. Well, we'll get together, we'll brainstorm.
Or what do they call it? Workshop it. We'll workshop it.
Yeah, workshop.
That could be the next big moneymaker. Nobody steal it. I claim intellectual property.
Which one is your newsy thing?
Like I said, none of them are really newsy. They're all kind of just like jokey sort of thing. But I guess the most news-like one would be the one they're coming for us.
Above it or below it?
I don't know how that came across in the X. Let me look.
Is it from Johnny or from Lectern Guy?
It is from Lectern Guy.
Come on.
But yeah, so while you're pulling that up, the precious metals thing is important, right? But you just gotta we have to start looking toward getting a good black market, like co-op sort of a thing going on, because I'm pretty sure it's still illegal in the United States to spend, like to actually use precious metals as tender.
I was just seeing that. I just read the headline. I think I heard about this. Oh man. Well, the Lectern Guy says they're coming for us, and he posted a picture of the Atlantic. And there's a headline that says, "Why everyone that says gay and retard belongs in a camp."
So they're coming for us, buddy.
Oh my.
We're the ones he's talking about.
This is crazy. Forget where I heard about this. It's an article on the Atlantic by Charlie Warzel. Warzel?
I think the Atlantic is fairly right wing, right?
No, they're gay.
Oh, really? So the Atlantic, I thought they were right wing.
Gay
Okay.
and retarded.
Okay.
So I've been
But
told.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, this is just a furtherance, right? Like, it's rhetoric. It's like anything else, right? You call people Nazis long enough, and then
Oh,
it becomes
yeah.
okay to punch them in the face.
Words is violence.
Yeah, and then you got Hillary saying, back in 2018, whatever, after the election, saying that, Trump voters need to be put in re-education camps.
Hillary said that.
Yes, Hillary. That's what I said, right? Or did I say someone else?
Hillary.
Oh, Killary, yes. Killary's got a higher body count than most OnlyFans models.
Hillary might have a higher body count than Bill.
Hillary might have a higher body count than the CIA.
Those are numbers.
Those are real numbers.
Those are real numbers.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that was funny. It's also is kind of newsworthy. Like if that's something, I mean, the Atlantic, I thought they were more right wing or centrist at least. But I mean, if they're willing to put that in print, like that means that there's a little bit of a groundswell coming out for it, right?
Correct.
And this guy too, the guy right below it, Carlos Maza.
Yeah.
The one I'm running out of ways to explain how bad this is.
Yeah.
Do you know who that guy is?
Who?
Carlos Maza?
No.
Dude, so remember the YouTube adpocalypse for Crowder?
Yes.
That's the dude. He used to work for salon.com, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe he still does. He's the dude that made the adpocalypse happen because Crowder played one of his videos and made fun of the fact that he was gay because in his video he was talking about how gay he was.
Gotcha.
And then apparently that was hate speech to point out everything that he said in his own video.
Gotcha.
So this guy's an absolute lunatic.
Oh, of course. Doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, when I saw him, I was like, oh, dude, it's him.
So, did you hear the most recent thing where they just put a story out yesterday, the day before, in the news that Trump, it was a story like Trump said he wished he had generals like Hitler had or something like that.
No.
Right? So that was the story. And the person who so what they did was it was on the news, like on the TV, on like CNN or one of the stations, I forget which station. They were talking about it. And the person who gave them the story didn't have a video clip or any, it was just, I heard him say this. Former Trump guy got fired.
Of course.
And guess what? It was the same exact guy as the suckers and losers fucking story.
Oh, okay.
The same exact guy. And then the news station, instead of having him on to tell the story, they played a phone call clip of him explaining it.
Got it.
It was...
Now, to be fair, Trump might have actually said that.
But other people around him said he didn't.
Right. So, but like, here's my point, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not something that I would put past Trump. And the context is important too,
oh,
right?
yeah.
Like,
if somebody was talking about the way the military ran, he could go, well, they ran a tight ship over there. I wish generals over here that were as efficient and worked as good as them.
Yeah, exactly. The context matters, right?
Yeah.
And then like you go back to, so the reason I say like it's very well possible something that Trump would say, is because remember when he got in quote unquote trouble for making fun of that disabled writer, like journalist or whatever.
Right.
It's like he was doing like the classic like retard hand thing, and it's like, okay, like, yeah, maybe he was doing that and thinking of that guy, but also like he did that all the time when he was making fun of other people.
Right.
But that also doesn't remove the fact that when he was doing it, I'm 99.9% sure that I would bet both my testicles that he, in his mind as he's doing it, he's thinking that they're retarded.
Maybe.
Because that's what everybody did, right? Like we used to do that all the time growing up. Like if one of your friends did something stupid, right, you do this thing.
Yeah.
Right, like that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't making fun of the guy's disability. He was calling the guy retarded.
Yeah, it's just crazy that was a news story. It was like a headline.
Well, right, but that's my point. Like context matters. Like he did that thing, and that guy's arm looked like that. But I don't think he was actually making fun of the guy's arm. That's
Right.
the point, right?
Right.
And like Trump might have said that he wishes he had some generals like Hitler, and in many ways, I wish he had generals like Hitler,
Yeah.
right? Like generals that were actually, and again, to an extent, right? Like, because
Yeah.
obviously, at a certain point, you've got to, like, it's part of your duty when you sign that dotted line. You're supposed to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You only follow a quote unquote lawful order, right? So like if Trump tells them, hey, go over there and shoot that Jewish guy in the street, like probably be like, nah, dude, like we're definitely not doing that today. Right.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, like you gotta, how many generals did he have that turned their and military, like high ranking military people turn their backs on him?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's what he was talking about. Like just people that like I guess were just, for lack of a better term, like trustworthy, like that actually like did what he asked them to do.
Yeah.
And again, got to be careful with that, right? Because that's how you get, genocides.
I want to pull up this.
All right, well, yeah, I'll keep going. So yeah, I mean that's how you get genocides, right? When you get too many yes men around you. That was like the biggest problem with Hitler. I think like initially when he first took power, you can take the socialism part out of it. Obviously, socialism bad, right? Like, but he did a lot of great things, right? He took them out of the Weimar Republic. He built their economy back up within like 3 years. They had almost no unemployment. Like he built them back up. He told NATO effectively, like, hey, this is stupid. We didn't even start World War II, and you're making us pay everybody for all the damages that happened in World War II. Like he did a lot of good things at the beginning. He took back German territories that England and all these other countries stole from Germany. And a lot of people don't know this either, right? Part of the reason why he did all that was those were all their natural resources. The Allied countries just broke off all their natural resource areas and gave them out to other Allied countries or NATO countries. And in those countries that those lands got given to, you had ethnic Germans who were living there and they were being slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people don't know that. Like it's in history books, you can read it, but people don't learn. You don't learn about it in school. Like a lot of Germans were getting massacred, and he said, give us our land back and stop killing our people. Like, but then you get too many yes men around you, and he starts getting a little high on the hog, so to speak, and he thinks he can do no wrong, and then you go about 12 steps too far, and that's how you get freaking genocide.
Yeah. I was trying to find this bit from Crowder's show today. I was hoping to be able to just scroll through and see like a graphic or something showing it.
Okay.
But I can't find it. It was so funny.
Just reading the thing here. Bongino didn't get into the details today, but did you listen to his show today?
I did not.
So he was talking about they're already coming out with, well, not already, because I mean it's a week and a half to the election. They're coming out with they're supposed to drop in the next day or two, the newest version of Russian collusion.
Oh, of course, October surprise.
Yeah.
I wanted to pull up this thing, right? Because Crowder talked about the Hitler story today.
Oh, okay.
And they planned a bit out for it. That was so funny. It was like they talked about the story or whatever, and then at the end he basically wraps up by saying like, well, and if this and if that and then this and then that and then, well, then I'm Hitler. And
okay.
And then everybody else in the studio went, no, I'm Hitler. No, I'm Hitler. It was so fucking funny. It's stupid, but it was funny. Everybody on a mic was like, "No, I'm Hitler," and they argued about who was Hitler for like 30 seconds. And it just cracked me up because it was, silly. But I can't find it quickly. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. Something. I figured it had to happen after the split, right? They must have done it after the Rumble split, I guess.
Soon.
I think a big reason the Hispanic vote, the Hispanic vote has gone leaned so heavily to Trump. At least what the fuck? What are you doing? It's like, hey, this is before I went to Colorado, and I was going to say, hey, if you have something to say, you can come in. But I know that if you know hockey on the bus, all the skill player.
No, you're not.
Wow! I told you.
Federation of,
I believe that's potato. Don't deserve to be hit and abused and had his.
Oh, right for a second. This guy's a trillion.
Advantage of that 10-year war.
Pork sticks.
I did.
The Hitler. Come on.
That's odd. Why is said party not going after YouTube and Google? Back then, door to door in America, it did not end well for them. Again, British NGO, the current apparently refused to pay for her.
Saw your stance on COVID. So you need a pilot's license. No.
In Holt, Missouri.
Hey,
It wasn't dirty.
we do chocolate.
Oh, God.
So,
I'm not gonna find it. All right, moving on. It was
I
funny.
just tried searching for it real
Just
quick.
take my word for it. The way I can think of is maybe on X, but
Yeah, that's where I was just searching for it. The prompt came up, but nothing, no videos.
in other news,
Oh yes, I heard.
What up, though? So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you. I'm here tonight for a couple of. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please.
he's definitely using fucking Rogaine or something.
I also think
Why do you say that?
that people
Well,
shouldn't
dark
be
his
afraid to
beard is.
express their opinions.
Full.
And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution.
I don't think his
or
hair
what
is that
people
color.
will do if you make your opinion known.
Maybe it is.
I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld.
Crowder covered this and then played a bunch of clips of his, like
I'm here
a
to tell you much more about
montage of
that.
all of his songs. It was like,
President Barack
Yeah.
Obama.
you gotta hear
Don't
Obama.
jive.
Listen to Obama get fired up.
I truly dislike that man.
He's pretty awful. Oh, they're not going to have his words. He got pretty fired up when he came out. So, there's that. Got this.
Actually, so that's a good.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's a good time to play the Sovereign Bra clip.
All right.
It's just to show the differences between campaigns. People have probably seen it, but a lot of people probably haven't. It's pretty short. It's like 30, 40 seconds. It just shows you the difference between the two parties right now.
Anti-Christian approach to public policy. I don't think that we've. That's right. Jesus is king, and I don't think that we've seen.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
She thinks it's funny.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's crazy? Like, obviously, like the
Anti-Christian.
juxtaposition there is
Yeah.
giant, but like that happened like 2 nights ago, I think. And then she literally was seen like the very next day. She went to a black church and she was reading the Bible.
Well, yeah.
Like, someone yells, Jesus is Lord, Christ is King at your rally. You tell them that they're at the wrong rally. And then you go and you pander
It's the smile.
to the, yeah, you pander to the black people,
Right
black
there.
Christians in this country. Yeah. Like she's like, haha, I got him so good. Oh. It's like, I don't care. You don't have to be Christian. You don't have to like Jesus or God or whatever. That's your choice.
Then stop
But
pretending.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go to a black church the next day or 2 days later, whatever, and start reading from the Bible.
Did you see Trump at the Al Smith dinner?
I did. Do you have any clips of that?
He mopped the floor. It was so funny, dude. And nobody. I've heard people talk about it on podcasts and stuff, and I didn't hear anybody say this, dude. Like just before that, he was on Flagrant.
Yes.
Dude, I
He was.
guarantee you the Flagrant boys wrote that material.
I wouldn't doubt they gave him a few jokes.
Everybody was like, I wonder who wrote his jokes. And somebody was like Barron or something like that. I was like, dude, no, he was just on Flagrant. Those are Schultz jokes, dude.
Yeah.
Those are Schultz jokes. I was like, oh, a couple of those were hard hitters, dude.
Yeah.
They were white dudes for Harris.
Yeah.
You've heard of these guys? They said, I'm not too worried about these guys because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. I was like, there's no way he wrote that.
He just slid that cuck joke in.
Yeah, that was so good. Oh.
Yeah, dude. Trump, he's a regular dude, and like I just like him. Like he, everybody says he's so sensitive, and in a lot of ways he is. Like if he doesn't respect you, then he doesn't appreciate you being disrespectful to him.
Right.
But like, you've got like those dinners and stuff like that, and then like he'll go, like when he was still allowed to go to roasts, before he ran as a Republican.
Yeah.
Like I remember, dude, that was years ago. His joke about what's the difference between Donald Trump and what's the difference between Donald Trump's hair and like a dead squirrel or a dead skunk or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, a dead squirrel doesn't have 7 billion freaking dollars in the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like he can make fun of himself. Like he did it on SNL all the time. He made jokes about, like he did a skit where he was a janitor and he went into Donald Trump's office and he was talking to quote unquote Donald Trump, and like he was trashing on the fake Donald Trump for all the things that people make fun of him for.
Right.
But, like, and then you've got fake people like Kamala Harris.
Yeah. That's pretty wild, dude. I was listening to PBD did an interview with Hulk Hogan yesterday or something like that. And they were talking about Trump a bit. And Hogan's like, Trump is the same exact person now as he was when I met him back in like the...
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about how they did a billionaires match or something like that. Or millionaires match or something. And it was like Trump was a guest star and he ended up, whoever lost had to like get their head shaved. So they staged it or whatever, but Trump ended up winning and he was shaving Vince McMahon's head on stage. And Hogan was like, and then we asked him, he's like, can we have Stone Cold Steve Austin come on stage, kick you in the stomach, and then give you a stunner? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So he did it. And he got stuttered. He got the Stone Cold stutter, and he laid out and played the part perfectly.
Yeah, you got to think too. Like, what? So if you got Stone Cold and you've got Undertaker and all these guys that are still in the business, Hulk Hogan, like that was like late '90s, early 2000s. Dude, Trump was like 50.
Well, this was a long. Yeah, this was. Yeah, I think it was even maybe earlier than that, but maybe.
I'm trying to think. I think Stone Cold became popular in like the mid '90s.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Like, either way, I mean, Trump's like what 70? He's gonna be like 77.
Yeah,
or is 77 something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if that was 25 years ago, he was still in his 50s.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty funny.
But yeah.
All right, I got some fucking a little bit more lighthearted stuff we could check in on here. So I just pulled this up because I thought it was cool, even though I don't like the guy. Just kind of a cool moment. LeBron James, this is from Drama Alert on X. Says LeBron James and Bronny James become the first father and son duo to play together in the NBA. I thought that was pretty cool.
Son duo to play together in an NBA game. This is all in
I wonder if this is going to be LeBron's last season.
And what a celebration.
It'd be cool if they showed some highlights, but
Bronny's brother and sister.
Ain't going to get any from Bronny.
History.
He's not a bad basketball player from what I hear, but like I don't follow the NBA. I don't care about the NBA.
I don't either, yeah.
But from what I hear, if he wasn't LeBron James' son, he would not be in the NBA.
Probably not. Says here, the first comment, all this for Bronny to not even score 1 point.
There we go.
And there's your sign.
Yep. Because you know his dad was feeding him the ball.
I got this other funny. This is just funny to me from John Muller. It says Asmongold finally cleans his house. Here's the before picture. What the hell? Here's the after.
I don't understand the context. Is that actually his house?
I believe so. Like Asmongold is like a millionaire who lives in squalor, literally. So
well, I know who he is. Like I remember hearing his name, and then obviously I think this past week he had that whole thing go down where he was
oh, I should have pulled that up. I wish I would have saved it. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was a reasonable take.
I mean,
whatever side you're on, his reasoning, like I get what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, but he went too far, even in my opinion. Like when you start saying that, like you don't care that civilians are dying simply because they're Muslims, like you've gone too far, dude.
Yeah, well, I agree. Yeah,
like you were going for the shock value, and you passed shock value, like 5 steps ago.
Yeah, I agree, but like I just maybe it was just him getting fed up with the question being posited for why he believes this, why like or whatever. Who knows? And yeah, I agree. Like you don't want people to die. That's pretty fucking heinous. But I'm just saying his logic made sense to me, where he was like, it's literally in their law that this is the thing. Now, whether people follow it or not, I think, like, okay, so like you think of context or like read between the lines. He's speaking like a regular person, not like a person who's reporting things to you as news or something like that. Him saying it, I don't think he meant all people. I think he means the ones that are, what's the word? I don't know why.
Radicalized.
Well, not like just radicalized, but the ones that follow the doctrine traditionally. Like, what's the word for that? You say it in religious stuff too. Orthodox. Or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
I mean, yeah. Well, I get what you're saying, but that's not what he was doing. Did you actually like hear the whole thing? Like, he flat out said, like, I don't mean just them. Like, he's like all of them.
yeah, I don't remember all of it, but I don't know.
Like he left it. He could have left himself that wiggle room, and he did not. He made sure that he did not leave that wiggle room.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like,
I understood the logic. He's like, the people that believe those things are now dying because they keep picking fights with people. Like, yeah. Obviously. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If your evil whatever attacks you and then you reap the benefits of that, and it's in their writing that they're to exterminate, like from the river to the sea, we talk about all the time. Like, they chant that stuff, right?
They do, absolutely.
And that doesn't mean, oh, give us, 500 acres on the border. It means they want everybody extinguished. So,
I mean, so here's the thing, right? Like, this is one of the main things that I actually disagree with Dan Bongino, right? He says all the time when he's talking about the Israel, Palestine, Israel, any Muslim country thing, he always says, whenever you have the choice, always choose civilization over the savage. And it's like, no. And
yeah.
for someone who's Italian and is a Roman Catholic, he should definitely not be saying that. Like, if he actually put a half a second of thought into it, because the quote unquote savages were the ones who ended the Roman Empire. The quote unquote savages were the ones who ended the Greek, like like Alexander the Great. Gosh, why can't I think of it?
I don't think that makes sense either, because
the Macedonian Empire, there we go. The Greek Empire.
For example, so take that into modern context, right? You have, our country is very divided, right? If the left wins and starts dominating for a certain amount of time and they become society, and then the opposite side becomes the savages, and we have to overtake the system to reset it, then that's the side he would fall on.
Yeah, I think it's when people are too attached emotionally, right? Like, I think Bongino is way too attached emotionally when it comes to this subject. When you get too close to the trees to see the forest.
Yeah.
To use that old cliche, right? Like, obviously, you don't always side with civilization.
You can't blanket it. Yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, well, actually, the Civil War is a terrible example, because the Civil War was not fought over slavery. But regardless, let's imagine that the Civil War was actually fought about slavery, and it wasn't a convenient thing that Lincoln threw on at the end.
Right.
Like, that would make the Union the savages, because they're the ones who were trying to end a quote-unquote, so to speak, empire, right, of slavery. So it's like, it's just very, I don't like it when people do that. It's just, you can't speak.
It's a broad strokes.
Yeah, you can't speak that way. And
speak about the specific.
Yeah, you can't speak broadly like that on a subject that serious.
But Bongino, that's Bongino's style.
Not real. I mean, yes, but no. Like,
I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you.
That's one of the only things that he's that broad on.
No, I know. But I'm just saying he speaks in that way. Like, he talks about, Secret Service failings or whatever. And then he goes into his passionate speech where he goes, how many times have I said it? If da 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 da, then da 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 da. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
he does a lot of that. If
Yeah,
this had,
I
don't know.
He drinks his own Kool-Aid a lot too. Like,
but he's proven right a lot.
well, he is, but like where I was gonna go with that is like the clip that you took. Like, yes, is it true? Did he say anything that was wrong? No, he didn't. But like the clip where he's like going on about how like stay out of my business, leave me alone, this, that, the other thing. Like that little speech that he gave, that little rant, was the equivalency of like an 80s horror movie, right? It was just like gratuitous nudity.
Mm-hmm.
Like he swore so many times that it turns you off from the message. At least me personally, like I don't mind people swearing. I grew up around swearing. Like it doesn't offend me when people swear. But like when you're giving a 30-second rant and you've sworn 30 times, you've gone a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Like that's all I mean. Like when you're in that sort of an echo chamber, and as much as he is not in an echo chamber, right? Because like he's got one of the biggest shows in the world. He's got the biggest live stream in the world, conservative anyway.
Yeah.
Like he sits alone, and
Right.
he just says things that come off the top of his head. Nobody bounces things back. Goes back to the Hitler thing, really.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not comparing Dan Bongino to Hitler, but like when you don't have anybody to tell you when you're going too far,
Yeah. then
you end up going too far.
It's performative a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Well, that's why when I've talked to you before, it's like I love Bongino. I don't tune into his show regularly because I prefer the conversational shows.
Yeah.
Because somebody makes a short monologue about something or brings something up, and then other people chime in. And sometimes it's in agreement, but they have a slightly different way of wording it that it's like iron sharpens iron type of thing. Sometimes it just sharpens the argument, and then you get more perspective on it. And then somebody else comes in and you get even more perspective. And then once in a while someone goes, I disagree.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, I see that. But you have, that you get a more accurate thought out of it. I like that more than just like someone speaking by themselves.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole thing about Trump with the generals too, right? Like same thing. Like you don't want a bunch of yes men around. That's when you get into trouble.
Of course. Yes, I agree. Sent me.
Yes, if you're gonna pull one of those up, well, we did that one.
I got Johnny. The games they play.
Conspiracy Corner. Yeah. This is my conspiracy corner for the week.
Welcome
to
real Conspiracy Corner.
This video right here perfectly explains when people don't believe in conspiracies, right? What do most people say? You couldn't get that many people to keep a secret.
Right.
Like, you couldn't get that many people, The point, you don't need a lot of people. It's all compartmentalized.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead and play this clip, and it explains exactly how it works.
Have you ever heard of a game called Werewolf?
No.
Everyone gets a piece of paper. It's either got villager written on it, but two have the word werewolf. Someone runs the game to make sure no one's cheating, and they go, okay, it's nighttime, everyone close your eyes. Werewolves choose someone to kill, and the werewolves go. They say, okay, everyone close your eyes, it's morning time, open them again. During the night, Francis was killed. There's then a conversation, and this is where it gets interesting, between all the villagers and the two werewolves over who the werewolves are. Then at the end of the day, the villagers have to decide who they're going to kill,
Dude,
and they say,
we're
going to kill...
You know what this is? The game Among Us?
Yeah. Yep.
It's revealed by the person running the game, I'm afraid Constantine was a villager. And the game continues. The villagers win the game if they kill both werewolves. The werewolves win the game if they kill all but two villagers. And the werewolves usually win. The game was invented by a student of sociology in Russia who wanted to prove his thesis that an uninformed majority will always lose a battle of information against an informed minority. So that just shows when you have hidden information, you can completely manipulate a large group of people.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yep.
I'm sure I get it, the idea. I still think it's much harder when you scale it, but still, definitely possible.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like, we can have an argument whether or not we ever went to the moon. We didn't. That's my opinion. But like when people say like, "Oh, well, how would you ever fake it?" It's like, well, first of all, the job in and of itself, even if you weren't faking it, is so compartmentalized. Like you have people that do specific jobs and they don't talk to people outside of that realm of their job, right?
Right.
So then all you have to do is convince all the people that are doing their different jobs that they're actually doing that job.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can fake it at the top.
Right.
You only need a few people that actually know that it's not real.
Right.
And then everybody else believes they actually did it.
That's yeah.
It's like, I get, because like I do agree with what you're saying. Like it's hard to imagine it on those like grand scheme things. The grand scale. Like, did we go to the moon? What was ABC about, right? But like then you also look at it and you're like, okay, we have Bay of Pigs, we have Gulf of Tonkin, we have Tuskegee experiments, you have MK Ultra.
Oh yeah.
You have all these different things that were massive conspiracies by our government. I mean, for God's sake, the Gulf of Tonkin, our own government, our own military wanted to shoot down an airplane with Americans in it so that they could get us into Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that our government actually tried to do.
Yeah. They've been successful at other operations.
The USS Maine, you know that story?
Maybe.
USS Maine, it's the leading theory on that is that someone sabotaged an American, or maybe not an American, maybe someone working for the American government, that our government wanted to get in on the Spanish-American War, right, over Cuba.
Okay.
But there was no support for it amongst American civilians.
Right.
So they blew up the USS Maine off the coast of Cuba and blamed it on the Spanish and on the Cubans. And then boom, everybody's outraged. We go to war.
Yep. They do that. Yeah. I don't have any doubt about that. They've done it before. All right. Back onto something a little more lighthearted. Got the Bobby Lee one up.
Yeah. Yes.
9, I got molested by a guy with Down syndrome.
Don't laugh, Brandon.
I'm not laughing.
Why'd you laugh?
It's just...
That's fucking rude.
It's such a curveball.
I'm going to say it again, and if you smile, I'm going to leave.
Okay. But
no,
hold
I'm being
on.
real. If you smile,
all right, hold on.
That really fucking broke me.
No.
All right.
You ready?
Have you ever seen this?
Don't cover your mouth, though, either.
Hey!
You can't cover your mouth.
Funny, dude.
Because the thing is that I'm telling you something
Bobby's
that's like...
really good at stuff like this.
I'm vulnerable,
Yeah.
and I'm expressing
I'm trying to
a
be
truth
cool.
to you.
Hey, dude. You
And-
gotta get serious.
And if you cover your mouth, I just feel like you're laughing.
Nope, let's do it.
All right.
This is,
So when I was 9, I was brutally molested by...
You can't say brutally. Because that's a curveball.
Why is that? So when I was 9 years old, every day for a summer.
You can't throw shit in there.
Why?
Every day? You couldn't avoid him, for God's sake.
All right, hold on.
So that's a super old clip that came back. Like, dude, that's from like 5-6 years ago at least.
That's funny.
It came back across my feed, and I was like, "Oh, we got to watch this on the podcast."
Let me see this one.
Bursts into tears. My mom died 2 days ago. She's the biggest Bad Friends fan.
Was. I'm just saying.
Sorry. I'll do it again.
Thank you. I'm not wrong. I'm just
love
telling you
Santino.
what the
Right.
verbiage was wrong.
He's good at bits. That's funny. You ever see the one where Shane Gillis is on?
I don't think so, no. Or not, I can't think of it off the top of my head.
What's the name of the podcast he does?
Which one?
Tiger
Shane
Belly.
Gillis?
Bobby
Or does he still
Lee's.
does he still do that?
I don't know. It's an old clip.
I
you like
I never really
pancakes?
watched it, but I
No.
assumed that it wasn't a thing anymore after him and his girlfriend there. That
No, he kept
the
doing
show
it
that
after.
broke up. Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna pass on this Kamala story. Or run. I know I can find it on YouTube.
Bobby, Kalila, and Shay.
A common request as a Donald Trump impression, and they wanted to see if you could teach Bobby how to do the Donald Trump impression. He's tried it a couple times.
Can I hear yours?
I don't have one.
Yeah, you
Try
did
to do
one.
it.
Try.
No,
You
you
try-
want first. I'll mimic you.
You try. First.
No.
You go first.
Well, just give me a sentence that he would say, and then maybe I'll try.
Let's go. The greatest country in the world is America.
The greatest country in the world is America.
Okay.
That's terrible.
That was terrible. That was terrible. That was like Marlon Brando.
I know. Well, I mean, say one, do the same line, and maybe I can mimic it.
So you got to do the easiest way to do Trump is like the speech Trump when he's
Okay.
doing a rally. Trump.
Okay.
Because it's just in the back of your throat.
Okay.
The greatest country. That's it.
The greatest country.
Okay.
A little bit.
The greatest country.
Don't do this. Do this.
The greatest country.
Don't move at all. Only move your hand.
All right. Don't move my
If
body.
you're
Don't
sitting,
move your shoulders, just your
all right.
hands.
if you're
The
sitting,
greatest country.
sit like that. If you're sitting.
Don't. First of all, don't. Okay. So sit like this.
Don't.
Yeah. The greatest country.
The best country.
The best country.
Wow, what a country.
Wow, what a country.
A lot of Asians.
A lot of Asians.
Maybe too many Asians.
Maybe too many. Maybe too many Asians. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. Thank you. Wow.
Like you blew a gasket.
I did.
there.
Almost died. Give me. Do you do other impressions?
No.
Yeah, you must do other
That's
impressions.
it.
That was so. How
That
long
was
did it take
so
you to learn
good.
that?
I watch a lot of Trump.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. Like that bit that you do about your Fox. Is that true? Your Fox News dad?
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course I'm exaggerating a little
Yeah,
bit.
of
Yes.
course.
No, I mean, that's how they can crush
I know.
dads and those going on.
Yeah.
Ew.
Not the
dude.
part. The fuck is the one? Oh, this
He's
one.
a good boy, is what all I have to say about that.
Yeah,
Short.
Of all the Asians in the history of Asia,
I-
right? What would I have been like 300 years ago?
I don't know. I feel like you guys have like two jobs. You're either like in the fields or a samurai.
Yeah.
You strike me as more of a field Asian.
Of all the
Oh, dude. Struck me as more of a field Asian.
He's a good boy, is what all I have to say about that.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of nice?
It is. It's very
Yeah.
sweet and it's very
You could tell.
harmless. We've been
This is
together a
when they
long
were
time.
dating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell. By the way she speaks about him, that she fucking doesn't respect him at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
wish
never
this-
watched I never watched their show.
I
at
wish
all.
this was longer. They were talking about like sex or something, and this is what she said.
He's a good boy, is what all I have to say about that.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of nice?
It is. It's very
Yeah.
sweet and it's very harmless. We've
Well,
been
I
together
mean,
a long time though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
So you guys would say you guys have loved each other long time?
He's a good.
But yeah, she like that's how she thinks of him. And then they broke up shortly after.
Oh yeah, I mean if you're talking about sex and that's all your girl has to say about you is he's a good boy.
And it's very harmless. It's like, okay.
Yeah. There's no coming back from that.
Nah, that's like if you're trying to date a girl and she thinks you're cute.
Yeah. That's beyond friend zoned.
That's game over, son.
Well, if you want to do the It's Always Sunny clip, that's the D one. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the hero of the week. I don't even know why I put it down as hero of the week, honestly. It's just funny. It's completely random, but it's hilarious. But also, kind of hero of the week is It's Always Sunny.
That's a good show. This is a post on X by I am yes, you are no.
Yeah, I have no idea who they are.
Surviving or looting?
They're surviving.
Okay. This was taken during the Rodney King riots. What do you think these people are doing, looting or surviving?
Well, they're looting.
Of course. Well, it's the media, see? When it's white people, it's survival, and when it's black people, it's looting.
No, Frank, it's because the white people are stealing bread and the black people are stealing speakers. If the white people were stealing stereo equipment, I would say they were looting too.
How do you know the blacks don't have bread and no speakers?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What do you think those people are doing, surviving or looting?
I love his character, dude.
It's Dee's reaction at the very end that gets me. It's like, what are you doing? What are we talking about?
Yeah. That reminds me of Anna Kasparian's like come around.
Yeah, it's like
remember when the people, the squatters, were allowed to stay in the houses?
Yep.
She's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Same idea. I had this one, a couple of funny ones to come up, but one more funny one. This is fucking hilarious.
Welcome to the Kill Tony universe. How do you feel after that?
You know, I shouldn't have stopped for 10 seconds, but it is what it is.
You did do that, and there's nothing you can do to change that. That is incredible. It will live in history, and you're realizing it and still living in it right now. Guys, what do you think about Emily?
Emily, I thought the most important part of your set, and I'm not being funny, I thought the most important part.
We know.
You know, let me tell you something. This guy calls me 30 minutes ago, goes, I'm in a jam. Can you please come down here for the show?
I did not say I'm in a jam.
You said you're in a pickle. Or that was up your ass.
Hello, Emily. Welcome.
I love this show, dude. It's so funny.
Kill Tony is pretty great.
That was funny. I'm not trying to be funny. We know. Oh, man. Oh, I had it. This guy stinks. Is it?
Oh, ooh.
I got one more that's funny, dude. This is from JD Vance went on Theo Von's podcast, and it was pretty good. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. But I started listening to it, and then I caught a couple of like the shorts, the clips. And,
oh, yes.
Dude, this was...
That's one thing that I also like about Bobby Kennedy. That I've known Bobby for years. Bobby's been a friend of mine for years. I knew him before I thought he was going to do politics.
Yeah,
so he's a good dude. Cocaine.
I like Bobby. The thing that I hate about politics and just
this is
media culture in this country right now, man, is people are afraid of saying anything that's unconventional. They're afraid of thinking.
This is a funny one. This is a serious one.
Think like the biggest ideas come from people who just follow the truth, right? And yeah, sometimes they're going to be wrong. Sometimes they're not going to get everything right. But we've got to stop punishing people like Bobby Kennedy for saying, well, maybe
hey, what about
this
that?
Doesn't work. Yeah, hey, what about that? Exactly. Yeah. Like that, hey, what about that is something we have to preserve. And I do feel like we're kind of destroying it. I like that Bobby Kennedy is sort of willing to say, no. I'm actually going to think for myself on this topic. I mean, it is crazy. Why do we have such a terrible obesity problem? why do we have all these like, certain types of diabetes are on the rise among children today? It's like, okay, we're the richest country in the history of the world, and children are getting diseases that they didn't get 30, 40 years ago. Like, somebody should be saying, what the hell is going on?
That's one thing that I thought was pretty amazing about bringing Bobby Kennedy into you guys' campaign, is that he's a sheriff for that kind of.
He really is.
For caring. I think for genuinely caring about people.
I agree.
Because I know he cares about people. It's like, I have friends that don't care about me. They're still my friends, some of them. But he's a friend that is a caring guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely right.
So that is, I think, why I've vouched for him a lot.
I just like that clip. It was just real talk,
Yep. Did you see the one that I was talking about though, the cocaine thing?
I saw. I think I might have seen the thumbnail for it or the tag. The one I wanted to share with you is this one, dude. This is hilarious.
I left high school and enlisted in the Marine Corps, spent 4 years in the Marine Corps. And I think that what, that really did for me was just like gave me a cool perspective. And then eventually, there's me when I was much skinnier, much better looking.
Oh, yeah. The Marines, dude. That was the original Ozempic.
That's right.
That's bro Ozempic, dude.
That is good. That is good. Marines, the original Ozempic. I'm going to steal that one. But man, I know I say this all the time, dude. If I went back to boot camp for 2 months, boot camp's 3 months. If I went back to boot camp for 2 months, I'd come out with a 6-pack.
Yeah.
But
Semper Fat, dude. Sorry, that's stupid. And I don't even know if you can even joke about Semper Fi. And no offense to any Marines.
Not at all. No, I'm sure no Marines took offense to.
I've seen
that.
Yeah, we've done a lot of shows on military bases and stuff. And
yeah.
It's usually.
I thought that was like Semper Fat, dude. That was so fun. What's it? Cocaine, you said?
Yeah. He's talking about fentanyl.
Was it a short?
Oh, I have no idea. I just heard the clip of it. You may not. I would assume if they did the Semper Fi or the Semper Fat thing that there'd be a clip of that, but there may not be.
Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently?
The hell? Gotta be a I'm not finding it. Did you hear it on a show? Or
I think Bongino had clipped it and played it on.
He probably clipped his own. Because it's not coming up as a clip that they put out, that somebody put out. They probably clipped it off of the full version.
Let me see here. See if I can find it and send it over to you real quick.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was just funny. Like they were just talking, I mean, as they just were, and kind of almost out of complete context. They were talking about drugs, but like then just out of nowhere, Theo being Theo, he was just like, "Yeah, it's crazy. You can't even do cocaine in America anymore." You see JD Vance's face being like, "What? You've never been able to do cocaine in America?" And then he's like, because the fentanyl.
Right. Well, yeah, I get what he's saying.
Yeah, but just like the way that he brought it up, like JD's like, Dude, it's always been illegal.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You meant like you can't do it safely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Well, you want to get the verse of the day?
Yeah, I got it right here.
I knew it. I knew you had it ready.
Oh, Bubba, I am so on it.
Hear it.
So this comes from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. So it says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and hope." So the context for this one, right? He's talking to Jeremiah, who was the prophet for the Israelites.
Oh,
and it was before they were going to be taken from Israel and brought to Babylon. And God was telling them, like, this is what's going to happen. Like, you guys suck. You're not listening to me. And so tell the Israelites that I'm going to let the Babylonian Empire come down, and they're going to take you all away. And you're going to go to Babylon, and you're going to be slaves, and you're going to do all the terrible stuff for 70 years. And he's like, but at the end of it, I'm going to bring you home, and you're going to come back. And the wicked generations that don't care about me and don't love me, they're going to be dead by then. And you guys will come back, and you guys will have a newfound love and trust and faith in me. Mm-hmm. So effectively, like, that's why he said, I know the plans that I have for you. So he said, like, so the whole point of this, why I like this verse, is it's God telling you that, yeah, God does allow bad things to happen in your life, but he allows them to happen according to his own goodwill. Right?
Yeah.
Letting the Israelites stay in Israel and not change their surroundings. It goes back to, if you're a drug addict or if you're an alcoholic or whatever your vice may be, right? If you're trying to get clean and you're hanging around the same people that were getting you into the drugs and getting you into the booze, nothing's going to change.
Right.
You need to remove yourself from that situation in order to come out of it.
Yeah.
And that's basically what God was telling the Israelites.
Yeah, makes sense.
So just because something bad's going on in your life right now doesn't mean that God isn't going to use it for your own good.
Right. Everything's a teaching thing. Everything can be a teaching moment.
Absolutely.
If you're willing to learn from it. This is, that reminds me of, remember Charlie Kirk on one of his videos explaining to somebody at one of his college campus things there. Some kid had asked him, how can you justify voting for Trump or whatever, and all these bad character traits, etc. Whatever. And Charlie basically said something like that. He's like, nobody's perfect. He's done more good for the country than any president in my lifetime. And you don't get to choose. God can use anybody in whatever way he chooses, and you don't get to choose how God uses people. So I thought I was relating that to what you just said, basically, like God teaching the lesson or whatever happens is a lesson, and God's gonna do what he will with you. And that's it. That's all it is. Like, there's been people that have done horrific things and turned their life around and ended up becoming a massive benefit to people or to the world after being a detriment before, and they end up coming out doing more good than they did bad before, like, for example, Mike Liddell, like, in a way, his story, drug addict, etc. Spun it all around. Became the pillow conglomerate.
King, the packing peanut pillow king.
That's right.
Have you ever tried one of his pillows, by the way?
I haven't.
Okay, neither have I.
I wanted
I've
to.
heard very mixed reviews. People who love them love them. People who don't love them absolutely hate them.
Yeah. I also wanted to try them. I also heard the sheets are really nice.
From him the other day, like last week or the week before, that he was having I heard it on some podcast. He was having a sale where it was like the original My Pillow. It's like $100 or something like that normally, but it was on sale for like $10.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, for $10, I would buy one. Yeah. And I was like, no, because I'll be so angry with myself if I spend $10 and it sucks.
Only $10.
That's $10 wasted. Yeah, but it's $10 wasted.
Yeah, but you waste $10. Everybody wastes $10
all the time, which is why I don't want to do it more.
Yeah, if the pillow is really bad, just give it to your kids. They don't even know. Spare pillow. Come on.
For the next 10 years.
I have a hard time believing that it's a terrible pill. Like, I have a hard time believing that it's not usable.
Reference, right? Like,
well,
if
yeah.
it's packing peanuts, I mean, and I would assume that he has like super stiff ones, super not stiff one. Like, it's like any other pillow.
Right.
It depends what, is it down? Is it cotton? Is it the foam or whatever? Like, what is the filling and how much of the filling is there? Like,
yeah.
Someone who loves down pillows could also find a memory foam pillow that they like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've been meaning to like try one. I never really. Whenever I need a pillow, it's like, oh, we're at the store. Get a pillow.
Generic Walmart freaking memory foam pillows.
Yeah.
Because years and years ago, my mother, perfect example, my mother bought Tempur-Pedic pillows.
Yeah.
She bought a Tempur-Pedic bed, got Tempur-Pedic pillows, loved the bed, hated the pillows, gave me the pillow. I had that pillow for 10 years.
Yeah.
Finally, it got too deteriorated and old, and it was gross. You know, because over time, you don't even think of it, and then it's like overnight, you look at it, you change your pillow, and you're like, oh, there's all these drool stains. That's disgusting.
Time to go. Yeah. I get you. Yeah. I used to buy like the Walmart pillows, and I would go there and be like, all right, do I want the stiff one, the soft one, or whatever? You'll live and learn, or whatever. And then one day we were at like Home Goods or something. Like, we could use new pillows, and we're looking at the pillows and touching them, feeling them, and found this one that was like Martha Stewart pillow or something. I don't know what they make it out of, but it was pretty nice. It was like weirdly soft, but yet still supportive. It was weird.
What do you think she did back in the day to piss someone off?
I don't know.
Right? Because she went to jail for insider trading. But she didn't do anything that Congress doesn't do every day.
Exactly. I have no.
And she's a gajillionaire, so it's not like she couldn't. Like, she must have made someone angry to actually do jail. And I know she didn't go to like she was like in one of those like halfway house prisons.
Yeah.
But
retirement
still,
facility. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she must have made someone really angry.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Just feel like I don't know. I have no idea.
The only two rich people to ever get actually thrown in jail.
Yeah, right. That didn't work out too well for Epstein.
Count.
Right. And that's why you tune in, folks. It's the circle of life. Well, that's all I got, my friend. All right. You guys should follow us on Rumble, Northeast Space Podcast, and on YouTube as well. You can find me on Twitch, X, Rumble, YouTube, and other places at Whiskey Sticks TV. That's Sticks is spelled Stixx because the regular one was taken. And I'm just that cool guy with X's. So follow me on socials, all that cool stuff. Tune in live Wednesday evenings for live version of Stone. And give us a follow. Give us a review on podcast platforms and all that cool stuff. How about you, Enoch?
Often, but if you're on there, I might maybe like once every other week I actually go live. But
surprise you.
Yeah. Jamoke Enoch, JAMOKEENOCH, just like it's at the bottom of the screen there. No spaces on everything. So if you look on anywhere and you see that, that's gonna be me. Nobody else has that name anywhere. Outside of that, yeah, everyone have a good week. Spread the word. Make sure you guys get out and vote. Vote like we're 10 points behind.
Early and often, folks. Early and often.
Happen the day of.
Right.
You got kids. You could have a kid that's sick.
Yep.
Anything could happen.
Amen.
Amen. And